You're listening to the Everyday Astrology Podcast. I'm Hilary Scott, your astrologer, and I'm here to bring you the current planetary conditions. Welcome to the full moon in Pisces. We are obviously feeling it already because Pisces is a very potent, energetic, spiritual energy. It's exact on Saturday the 10th at 2:59 Pacific Standard Time, Pacific Daylight Time. So wherever you are, we're going to obviously have it at different times, but the exact same full moon. I imagine that you are feeling possibly sleepy, maybe very imaginative, daydreamy. You could be feeling confused, overwhelmed. There is so many intricacies in the possibilities of what we're experiencing with this Piscean energy. Leading up to the full moon on September 9th, Mercury goes retrograde. Mercury is in Libra and it will be backtracking into Virgo, and then in October, the beginning of October, it will start to go forward again. All this territory that we've gone over for the last 3 months since the last Mercury retrograde, we have a chance to look back. We have a chance to see if we are where we want to be, considering where we've come from. It gives us a chance to review, redo, renew. Oftentimes people from the past will show up as well, and especially with the Libra energy, because that's very much about connection and partnerships and like, what do you think? Instead of being sort of more egocentric like the Aries energy, Libra is the opposite and always very concerned about the other point of view, to the point where we can become or Libras in general can be very sort of a fence-sitting energy, unwilling to make a choice either way, which can be a nightmare to anybody that's Libra or has to deal with people that have Libra, because it can be very wishy-washy, non-committal energy. At the same time, it's very harmonious, very balance-seeking, concerned with the other and what the other thinks. But again, to the point where it will mirror what it believes is expected and sort of chameleon into the energies that it is. So it can come across as inauthentic or double speaking, or even to their own selves. Libras don't realize that maybe they would choose mistruths or little white lies over some sort of confrontation or having to get in the ring and stand up for what they believe in. They'd rather choose peace at the expense of many other things. So with Mercury going through this energy, we might see that. We might be seeing all these sorts of traits pop up even within ourselves, maybe even in our own minds. We can't make a decision. We're kind of confused about this or that, or maybe this way. I could do it that way. It can cause confusion, but it also can have you choosing and seeking situations that bring harmony and compatibility and justice and peace and all these harmonious, lovely things too. So you just don't want to choose harmony over truth. That's what you don't want to do, because then it's like, how harmonious is that, right? It's not. It's a mistruth. A half-truth is a full lie. I just read that quote somewhere recently. I can't remember who it's from. So keep in mind, as Mercury goes retrograde, that we'll be going through the Libra energy, then backtracking into Virgo, and you'll feel that shift. It's going to be, I think it's the 23rd that happens, and you'll feel a lot more decisive clarity come over your mind. You'll be able to be like, oh, I see what I'm doing wrong. Oh, I see what's going on over here. Virgo is very discerning and has very clear sight, and it is the flaw finder of the zodiac. So if something isn't right, or something doesn't fit, something feels off, Virgo will see it. Oftentimes too, they're very natural health centric. They believe in herbs and that the Mother Earth has what we need to be healthy, and they shy away from pharmaceuticals, which is a good idea because Virgo and Pisces are opposites and they can share qualities. One of them being that they're both very sensitive energies and can actually be easily poisoned by drugs, pharmaceuticals. I think the third leading cause of death is pharmaceutical drugs and misprescriptions. So be very careful with what you put into your temple, especially in this Virgo Piscean energy that we've got going on with the Pisces full moon, because you might be uber sensitive, like more so than you usually are. So even to what's around you in the environment, frequencies, toxins in the air, light or no light, people around you, people who affect you like in malls or if you go into public, like you're going to be kind of like a permeable layer for now. So keep that in mind. Make sure you activate bubble of light for protection and like stand in your own sovereign power, be in your body. If you're in your body, nothing can get in your body with you. So that's good to keep in mind. You want to be fully occupying your space and be very clear-headed and making choices from that clear space. Now, the Pisces full moon, it brings in so many beautiful energies. It's very magical. It's conjunct Neptune, its ruler. So it adds to the magic, to the synchronicity, to coincidences, which is very much synchronicity. Things that you're like, oh, can you believe that happened? Like it lets you know that you're connected to the divine and that we're all one and that we really are sort of woven together on this earth plane. And the butterfly effect is a real thing. So what you do, what you choose affects like a ripple out into the ocean of humanity and the universe, other things. So just be sure to tap into the magic, enjoy music, movies. Be careful, of course, you want to have positive, inspiring influences all around you, not scary or terrifying kinds of things. That is not something that you need. So be sure to keep your energy clear and do things that are healing and nurturing and help like enliven you and youthen your body rather than tax it. And that can be another side of the Piscean energy is addiction. So with people with strong Neptune or Pisces, they can often become alcoholics or any of the holics can happen. But the escapism ones are high on the list for Pisces. So if you must escape, do it into beautiful music and like nature rather than toxic chemicals that could damage you spiritually and psychically and physically. That's the kind of sensitivities that we can be vulnerable to now. Also, with the Piscean energy, there can be a tendency to deceit where the wool is being pulled over, or you don't really see the truth. Things are not as they seem. And you don't want to make choices from a place where you can't see all the facts. So if there's little red flags, like try to have your truth glasses on. So if there's something that's dishonest, you can trust yourself to pick it up and you won't be led astray. That's super important. Also, right after this full moon, we have Jupiter conjoining the moon. And Jupiter is a truth seeker, and it wants to expand the truth and justice and all good things that are benevolent. It's the glut and the gift giver. And conjunct the moon, Jupiter can have us expanding what's not great, what isn't. Like we might go overboard or commit to too much or do something unexpectedly out of character because we were being overly optimistic. That can happen too. So just try to be always from the perspective of your higher self. And then your odds of making all the right choices, even when things are confusing, are a lot higher. We also have the sun trining Uranus shortly after this full moon. And on the actual full moon, we have it sextiling the moon. So Uranus gives us, there's so many ways to pronounce Uranus. I guess nobody wants to hear you say Uranus. So I choose the Uranus version, but I've heard people say Uranus too, which sounds a little closer to Uranus to me. So I'm going to just stick with Uranus. But it is an energy, however you pronounce it, that gives you an impetus, lightning bolt ideas. It shakes you out of the rut that you might have gotten yourself stuck in, because that is the one thing you can count on in life is change. And if we can keep changing, then we can keep adapting, then we can keep growing. And if we're not growing, then we're dying. So just keep growing. Uranus here will help us to have new ideas that send us in new directions, maybe unexpectedly, but in good ways. It's a positive. Both these Uranus energies are positive, the trine and the sextile going on around the full moon. So you're going to be out of your norm, doing something unusual, but that's helping you grow, and it'll infuse you and your whole nervous system with the excitement and the inspiration of new stuff happening. So yeah, let's do that. There is an opposition from the moon and Mercury happening on the Sunday too after. So you might be questioning yourself a little. That's okay. There could be lots to talk about and things to sort out, and just allow yourself to verbally, especially with all the mutable planets. I think there's 5 mutable, which means very changeable planets. So we can shift. We have the power to move reality around a lot easier when the planets are mutable. So whatever you want to do to make change, now's your chance to initiate it and step into new timelines and, choose new directions and do things that you've thought about for a long time that maybe you put off, things that come from your heart. That's really what you want to tap into. There is a lot going on right now, but with the mutable planets, we can really change and we can make things better and transform and get moving in new directions that are good for us. Also, the Uranus and the Jupiter energy coming together, there is an impulse to truth. And I really do envision humanity waking up en masse. I mean, it's definitely happening now, but the faster we do it, the more chances we have to save us and our planet and everything that's going on in this earth plane, us earthlings. We need to stop the insanity. There's a really good movie I recommend, a documentary called The Dimming, and you can go check that out on geoengineeringwatch.org. There is so much to learn there, and I've been noticing so many crazy things going down in our skies where I live, which happens to be one of the breadbaskets of the world, which are currently being flooded and burnt down all over the world, which is pretty suspicious. So I think the more of us that know what's going on, the higher the vibration and the awareness of the planet can be. So do have a watch of the movie The Dimming. It's quite enlightening. That is it for this week and this full moon in Pisces. Do make the most of it, tap into your magical self, and create a beautiful reality. Thank you so much for listening. Much love.